Why do so many Western straight men fall for Thai ladyboys, even when they don't identify as gay? I've spoken with straight men who told me quite bluntly that once you've dated a ladyboy, you never want to go back to dating a woman. It's a controversial claim, but it highlights a deeper reality about what these men feel they are missing back home. To understand the why, we have to look at the who. Let's start with the most obvious factor, the visual, the aesthetic, the wow factor. I call it the hypermodel access theory. Picture a man. Let's call him Simon. Simon is 52. He's divorced. He's a decent guy. He pays his taxes. He visits his mom. He works a steady job. But in the dating world, back home, Simon is worse than rejected. He is invisible. In the West, Simon is a ghost. Women in bars glance past him as if he were made of glass. The women he admires online, in magazines, on Instagram, they don't see him. Now, drop Simon on a plane to Pattaya. 14 hours in economy, a taxi ride down the highway, and he is deposited onto Walking Street. The neon lights are blazing, the smell of grilled squid mixes with spilled beer and high-end perfume. Suddenly, the physics of his world invert. Simon is no longer background noise. He's seen, he's admired, he's a king. He is surrounded by people who look like runway models. We're talking about the ladyboys of Pattaya, Katoi as they are called locally. This isn't someone throwing on a dress for laughs. These are people who have invested deeply, obsessively, and painfully in their appearance. We're talking cosmetic surgery that costs years of savings, intense hormone regimens, hours spent mastering makeup and hair. The end result, a hyper-feminine aesthetic so polished it can stop someone mid-step. In London, Toronto, or Sydney, a woman with this level of visual perfection would be untouchable for Simon. She's in a different orbit. If he tried to approach a woman of this caliber in a sleek Manhattan bar, she might barely glance at him or call security. But here, Simon has leverage. It's not just beauty, it's economics. Simon has savings, a pension, a credit card with a decent limit. Back home, that's strictly middle class. It buys a semi-detached house and a Ford Fiesta. In Pattaya, that's power. That is royalty. For the price of a few drinks and a bar fine, Simon can walk out with someone who looks like a dream. Think about the psychological impact of that whiplash. Simon has spent decades feeling overlooked, feeling old, feeling gray, and now, suddenly, the most beautiful person he's ever seen is laughing at his jokes, holding his hand, brushing his arm, and looking at him like he's the only man in the room. It's intoxicating. It's a validation cocktail mixed with ego, nostalgia, and the desperate, burning need to be seen. It acts on the brain like a drug. The dopamine hit of going from zero to hero is arguably more addictive than the physical intimacy. But let's not kid ourselves. This isn't just about looks. If it were, men like Simon could just hire high-end escorts at home. They don't. They come here. They endure the flight, the jet lag, the humidity. So why? There's a psychological layer here that's much deeper, much darker. Let's talk about the Western man's state of mind in the 2020s. Isolation is rampant. We are living in an epidemic of loneliness. Society often tells men of Simon's generation that their traditional roles are obsolete, that their masculinity is toxic, that their way of being is wrong. Dating is a minefield of rejection, confusion, and shifting goalposts. Many of these men feel battered, lonely, and discarded by a culture that no longer seems to have a place for them. Enter the Thai ladyboy. Here is the feedback I hear over and over in interviews, forums, and barstool confessions. Femininity. These partners often embody a type of attentive, nurturing, retro femininity that many Western men feel they can no longer find at home. The Katoi and the tourist hubs have mastered the art of the soft power. They are soft-spoken, caring, affectionate, emotionally available, or at least they perform emotional availability perfectly. They offer a girlfriend experience that feels authentic because it's attentive, consistent, and flattering. They ask about Simon's day. They pour his beer. They fix his collar. They giggle at his dad jokes. Simon feels young again. He feels desired. He feels like he matters. He becomes the provider, the protector, the daddy, a role he is comfortable with, rewarded with attention and gratitude. It's a feedback loop that repairs cracks in a bruised ego. It gives him a sense of purpose. Now, critics will scream, "It's fake! It's transactional! These men are delusional! She's laughing because you're paying her!" And yes, there is truth to that. It is a commercial interaction. But here's the controversial twist. Does it matter if it's transactional? If it feels real? If paying for companionship alleviates a crushing sense of loneliness, we pay for therapy, we pay for massages, we pay to be entertained. Is paying to feel loved, even temporarily, so different? Now let's tackle the uncomfortable part, the part that confuses the hell out of the folks back home. The gender issue. Many of these men, Simon included, identify as 100% straight. They have been with women all their lives. They have ex-wives and they have kids. They love football, craft beer, and weekend DIY projects. They do not identify as gay. Yet, they are dating someone who, biologically, is a man, but who presents entirely as a woman. How? How do they reconcile that cognitive dissonance? This leads us to the best of both worlds phenomenon. There is a subset of men who are drawn to the unique blend that K-Toy offer. They get a partner who looks, smells, and presents as a hyper-feminine woman, but who often shares a sense of humor, hobbies, and cultural touchpoints more common to men. They can have a relationship where they talk about cars, play video games, or debate football scores, but with someone who looks like a supermodel. It creates a relatability that is rarely found in traditional heterosexual relationships. There is a lack of the Mars versus Venus friction. Some men describe it as hanging out with one of the guys, but with the attraction of a woman. It's a bromance packaged in a dress. And yes, there is a deep sense of curiosity here. We have to be adults and admit this. In their minds, they are with a woman. She looks like a woman. She acts like a woman. She is socially perceived as a woman. Biology to them is just a detail, a quirk. Research into the feminine-attracted male brain supports this. Straight men who are attracted to trans women respond primarily to feminine visual cues: breasts, hips, facial structure, makeup, movement. Their brains register woman. They are drawn to the presentation, not the chromosomes. To Simon, any biological technicality is secondary to the fact that she looks and feels like the woman of his dreams. Why Thailand? The perfect storm. But why here? Why is this phenomenon so concentrated in Thailand? Why not Brazil or the Philippines to the same extent? It starts with history and culture. Thailand is unique. It recognizes a third gender that has existed for centuries. Katoi have always been visible, integrated into the culture, and socially tolerated in ways that Western societies often cannot imagine. Buddhism plays a massive role here. The concept of karma and reincarnation suggests that being born Katoi is a result of past life actions, perhaps a karmic debt. This leads to a societal view of pity or tolerance rather than the violent hatred often seen in the West. There is no puritanical framework screaming that this is a sin, it just is. Then there's the Pattaya bubble. Pattaya is a transient city, a ghost town of souls. It is a place that shouldn't exist. Before the 1960s, it was a sleepy fishing village. Then came the Vietnam War. The American military needed a place for R&R, a place for traumatized young men to drink, fight, and find love before heading back to the jungle. The infrastructure of Pattaya, the bars, the clubs, the availability of paid companionship was built on the dollars of GIs. The city's DNA is soaked in the servicing of lonely men. This legacy created a bubble of anonymity. Residents are few, transients are many. This lets men experiment. Simon would never date a trans woman in his hometown. His neighbors would gossip. His family would judge. At work, he'd face ridicule. But in Pattaya, nobody knows him. He's free. He can walk hand in hand down Beach Road and nobody bats an eye. The social cost is zero. But for every Western man enjoying the luxury of an anonymous escape, there is a Thai woman for whom this city isn't an escape. It's an office. To understand the full picture, we have to look past the neon lights and ask the question Simon often ignores. Why are so many K-toy in the bars? Is it a love of nightlife? Is it an insatiable desire to date aging Western men? Number, it's survival. It is pure, unadulterated economics. Despite Thailand's reputation for tolerance, acceptance is a different story. Discrimination in the regular job market is real and pervasive. You want to work in a bank? A government office? A corporate firm? If your ID card says Mr. but you're wearing a skirt, the door is often closed. For many, the regular economy is walled off. But the entertainment and nightlife industry? That is where acceptance and opportunity intersect. Cabaret shows, bars, nightlife venues. This is where they can earn, thrive, and live openly. We also have to talk about the Isarn factor. Many of these women come from the Isarn region, the impoverished northeast of Thailand. They are often the breadwinners for entire families. In Thai culture, there is a concept called Boon Kun, a deep debt of gratitude owed to parents. Children are expected to provide. For a trans woman from a rice farming village, the options are limited. The bars of Pattaya offer a lottery ticket, a chance to find a sponsor. For many of them, this is not romance. It's work. It is emotional labor. And Simon? Simon is the client. Simon is the ATM. Simon is the exit strategy. Here is where hearts break. Simon thinks he's found love. She laughs at his jokes. She remembers his birthday. She appears emotionally invested. She cries when he leaves. But for her, Simon is income. He is the roof over her mother's head. He is the school fees for her younger brother. The bar fine he pays is more than just a drink. It's a lifeline. We've all heard the horror stories. The cliché is so common, it has its own jokes. The sick buffalo. A man goes home to the UK thinking he has a loyal girlfriend waiting in Thailand. He sends money monthly. Then comes the emergency. Honey, the family buffalo is sick. We need medicine. He sends more. Honey, the motorbike broke. He sends more. Consider the power dynamic. A wealthy Westerner brings money into a developing country. He uses his economic advantage to gain affection that would be out of his league at home. The woman leverages her skills, beauty, and soft power to secure her own financial future in a country with no social safety net. Both are navigating human desire and survival in an uneven landscape. It's messy. It's complicated. It is not black and white. It is a shade of neon gray. Yet it's not always tragic. And this is important to acknowledge. I've seen genuine connections. I've seen couples that defy the stereotypes. I've seen Western men who treat their trans partners with more respect and dignity than they ever received from Thai men. I've seen Thai trans women show fierce loyalty and genuine care for their aging partners, nursing them through illness, staying by their side when the money gets tight. It exists. Love can bloom in the strangest soil. When two people are lonely enough and honest enough about what they need, a transaction can transform into a partnership. But usually it is a temporary alignment of needs. So why does this bother so many people online? Why do the comment sections explode with vitriol whenever this topic comes up? Is it homophobia? Absolutely. Is it jealousy? Maybe. Or is it because it exposes the cracks in our own societies? Pattaya strips the pretense away. It exposes the profound loneliness of the modern male. It exposes the failures of the modern dating market. It exposes the harsh reality that money and beauty are often the currency of connection. Back home, we hide it. We pretend personality is the only thing that matters. We pretend that status and looks aren't governing factors. In Pattaya, the quiet part is said out loud. Here's the money. Here's the beauty. Deal or walk away. Simon is sitting on a bar stool right now. He's holding the hand of someone who looks like a movie star. The fan is whirring overhead. The music is loud. For the first time in 20 years, he feels electricity. He feels visible. He doesn't care about sociology. He doesn't care about the economic disparity of the Isarn region. He doesn't care if the laugh was practiced in a mirror. He cares about being wanted, about escaping the crushing invisibility of his life back in the suburbs. And maybe that's worth it. Maybe the price of the illusion is worth the feeling of the moment. or maybe it's a cliff. Maybe he is walking eyes wide shut into a disaster that will leave him broke and broken. We need to stop laughing at these men. We need to stop judging these women. We need to see them as people navigating a world where genuine connection is scarce, costly, and complicated. The men are chasing a fantasy of the past, a time when they were the providers, the heroes, the desired. The women are chasing a better future, a life of stability, safety, and acceptance. And they meet here in the neon-lit present, extracting what they need from one another. It's tragic, it's comedic, it's business, it's romance, it's the neon elephant, and it's not going anywhere. As long as there are lonely men with money and beautiful women with needs, the cycle will continue. Are we brave enough to watch it without judgment? To understand the desperation on both sides? Strip away the neon, the spilled Shang beer, the heavy makeup, and the bar fines. What remains is human need. The need to be seen, to be held, to feel like you are enough. And if flying thousands of miles is the only way for Simon to get that fleeting sense of validation, it says more about the coldness of the world he left behind than about the heated chaos of the world he found. Why do you think so many Western men are drawn to dating ladyboys, even if they identify as straight? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next video.